So I wanted to do a video on tips of how to get a job. We're a recruitment company, we've done videos on a bunch of other stuff. If you watch our channel, you're a regular viewer of it, you'll see the kind of stuff that we do. And considering there are 8.5 million people on furlough at the moment, yeah, that's probably going to lead to quite a lot of people looking for new jobs. So figured, let's do a video on it. The key thing with this video is this isn't going to be some advanced A to Z list. No, it's going to be for people that either haven't had too many jobs, typically struggle with getting a job, or are in a position where they may not have gone through a process using a recruitment company or using modern techniques, CVs, stuff like that for quite a while and are unfamiliar with things. So the purpose of the video is basically to give you the basics on how to get a job, but stuff that actually works. So first thing to start off, when you're going to be looking for a new job, you're going to need a CV. Now you could go to a company that is going to charge you a load of money to write a CV. Don't. The reason I say that is unless you're going for a £100,000 job, something big, then complete waste of time. You're basically just going to be throwing money down the drain. The basics of a CV are what someone's going to want to know, and you can find templates on Microsoft Word, or you can also go on Google and look at examples of Google images of CVs. You can see the layouts of them. The key parts you need to get right are going to be at the top of it. Make sure your name is on there, make sure your address is on there, your contact details, email, telephone number, make sure they're at the top and they're correct. All you want to do at the beginning of a CV is give what's called a personal statement, which is your first opening paragraph. That should give you probably in no more than 3-4 sentences in that paragraph an outline of what you do. Don't waffle on, and I see CVs like this all the time where either people give a really brief outline of what they do. I fix things. Yeah, great, that doesn't really give you much scope on what you're about, or they waffle on telling you their life story, or they try and do it in some weird third person, you know, Kevin is this, Kevin is that. It's weird. Underneath that, all you're then looking to do is go through your jobs that you've had in order to date, but go from the most recent job backwards. All a CV is your introduction to a company, and the amount of time that any hiring manager or recruiter will initially look at your CV to grab their attention is about 10 seconds. I'm not kidding you. You put the company name that you worked for, the job title that you had, and the dates to and between you worked there. But in those paragraphs, when you have the jobs itself, again, keep this simple. Outline of what the job is in one sentence, and then bullet points of the skill set, the duties you had, and the key bits you did do in that job. So next on the list, let's talk about job boards. Now job boards themselves, there's going to be several major ones that you're going to either be familiar with or not know of. But what I'd advise you to do is to register your CV on all of the following job boards. And I'll explain why in a moment. It doesn't cost you a penny to do this. The job boards you want to register your CV on are going to be Total Jobs and Job Site, CV Library, Reed, there's going to be Indeed on there, and there's going to be a few others like Monster or Trovic Jobs. There's two reasons for this. If your CV is on several job boards, it increases the likelihood that they're going to come across you. The other reason why it's a good idea is individual companies, if they hire themselves and let's say they're advertising for a job internally, they don't want to use a recruitment company, individual companies tend to only use one job board. So if, for example, you've uploaded your CV and you're perfect for a job that another company wants to advertise for on a CV Library, and you've uploaded your CV only on Total Jobs, they're never going to find you. You could have the best CV in the world, but if you don't get your job board situation right and no one tells you that, that's really going to limit your chances of getting a job. The next one on the list is your application strategy. Now, if you go to the job centre, they will give you the most useless advice in the world, which is go and apply for every job under the sun if you're out of work. If I'm being honest with you, this isn't really a good idea, and I'll explain why. What happens is when you apply for jobs, recruiters will be able to see principally what jobs you've applied for on a lot of these job boards and a lot of their systems. If it looks like you've just applied for 500 jobs, all random, anything, the recruiter is going to look at that and think you're very high risk. You see, the way we get paid as recruiters is that a company will pay us a fee only if we place you. That's called contingency recruitment, and most recruitment companies will work with that way. The problem is, if you go for a job, they put you forward for it and you leave that job, they will have a refund period. If you're only there for 5 minutes, the recruiter's going to think, well, I'll have to give them a refund, be a big waste of time. And the biggest red flag of someone who's high risk, who you don't know what sort of job they want, is someone who just applies for every job under the sun. Only apply for jobs you actually want, but also ones that you actually think you'll be able to get. Now, most people, when they're going for a job, at some stage or another, they're probably going to be dealing with a recruiter. Now, a recruiter themselves is pretty good for you because their job is to try and get you a job. That's the purpose of it. All they're basically going to do is go through your CV and ask you several questions. Probably won't take more than 5 or 10 minutes. So if they call you up, they ask you stuff, just answer the questions, be friendly with them, they're there to help you out. If you've done all this correctly so far, you're probably going to get yourself some interviews. Simple parts of getting an interview right, get the basics right. If you go into an interview, dress in a suit or smart outfit. Turn up in jeans and t-shirt, first impressions are going to kill any chance you ever getting the job, so just use your common sense. Turn up for any interview 15 minutes early. Even if you get to the car park half hour early, doesn't matter. Go into the building 15 minutes early. Make sure you've had a haircut, you look presentable, you smell nice. Right from the moment of you coming into the building or walking through the car park, treat all of that process as part of the interview. The receptionist is going to be the first person you might meet when you go in. If the hiring manager afterwards goes, what did you think of the person who came in, the candidate before, what was they like, what was your first impressions? And they go, well, they stunk of fags, they were pretty rude, they're pretty blunt, they just grunted at me. Again, it doesn't give good impressions. When you go into an interview itself, don't clam up, don't give one-word answers, try and be relaxed. Any good interview will put you at ease fairly quickly. Your skill set of what you've got already will be presented on your CV. The questions that will ask you in an interview relevant to that will probably be either things that are on your CV in the first place, or they'll just be testing out details of your skill set. You'll either know the answers to those or you won't. So any bits you really need to worry about in your actual interview is just your presentation. As long as you put yourself across as a reasonable, normal person who seems open, genuine, that's all they're looking for. So that pretty much sums up the video itself. I hope these tips helped. But if you have any questions, put them in the comments. Trust me, I do my very best to try and answer every question that we get. If you like the video, click like. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you won't miss any one of our forthcoming videos.